Oh, look at Bob the drag queen.
I'm sorry, who? I'm kidding.
She's hungry for a rose in this
she
photo.
is. I mean, my God, don't they feed those girls? Bob is hilarious. Bob is just, again, I feel really like people are going to be like, what? Bob is the nicest. Everyone is nice.
Yeah.
I mean, not everyone. Everyone you're showing and everyone that I like is nice. I find that the more talented a person is, the nicer they are. Mm-hmm. If it's all smoke and mirrors and they really don't do anything and they're trying to pretend like they're a star, like this is how a star acts, and then they, have to be a fucking raging bitch or an asshole. I mean, I play one, as a character, but I'm actually the Christian mother of 3 young boys. But no, Bob is great. My favorite memory of Bob, of course, is about me. She came to one of my shows, and after the show, she had a literally 6 foot by 4 foot, canvas picture of me that Magnus Hastings had made. So, somebody shows up with something this big for you to sign, but this was as big as the desk. So I was like, oh, okay, security? Anyway, so again, she's wonderful.
She's in that whole new crop of queens who've been doing it underground style, but prepared. Like, I remember before Drag Race, Bob had 800 followers on Twitter. But if you saw him live, I went on a cruise with him, he would slay the game.
Yeah.
Make people encores and encores and encores. And then suddenly, overnight, was able to, become famous on Drag Race. That's a new phenomenon.
Yes. And I think Bob literally started doing drag because of Drag Race.
Oh, right, yeah, he did.
Which is a really strange phenomenon.
Yes.
No, it's really weird because, listen, I think of people like Alaska, Bianca, real jinx, just real personalities, and people who are so engaging and entertaining, naturally entertaining, even if you're just sitting at lunch. I mean, Alaska is literally a magical creature.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, seriously, I feel a real maternal energy towards Alaska. But my point is, I hosted at Precinct last night, the RuPaul's Drag Race watching event.
Right.
And I just didn't feel any star quality from any of them. I think it's getting a little... Yeah, and now, because it's a reality show, you have to be a cute boy out of drag.
Right.
So it's that's not why you do drag. It's just people are doing drag for all the wrong reasons now. And I know that sounds bitter. I'm just saying that you naturally... This was not... it was so not acceptable.
Right.
And it was also to be a successful drag queen, there was not many at all.
And it wasn't very far to go to hit the top.
So now you have to be a cute boy out of drag.
Right.
And, young, and,
catchphrases, perfect makeup artist, perfect seamstress, 100 wig growing out of your head. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, it's that's why I hand my credit card over. It's make a big wig.
Well said, Jackie. Look at him.
I'd rather not.
Speaking of big wigs, that's her in the Hey Qween studio in our elevator.
Oh my God. Moments before she
fell down the shaft.
Forcefully blew a complete stranger.
Oh, okay. Fell onto the shaft,
listen,
as one would say.
I make a lot of jokes about Heklina, but nobody can deny her business savvy. And yeah, every drag queen's got something. That's what I say, a cross to bear, if you will. Lady Bunny sometimes lip syncs to her own song because she's nervous about her vocal, abilities. So it's her singing, but it's a recording, so she lip syncs. I have my music stand because I'm terrified that I'm going to forget the words. And Heklina has that face. I mean, that's a face only a mother could love. And even, let's be honest, even her mother probably was no. I joke. I actually love Heklina. And she is celebrating her big 5-0.
Oh, really?
Very soon,
wow.
Yes. And she had her mole removed.
Thank goodness.
When she had that removed, I tweeted something about how I'm so glad that Heklina finally got rid of that unsightly thing that has been ruining her career. And then I said, Godspeed to Peaches Christ. Something like that. Funny if you know.
Look out!
Oh, the aforementioned Bianca Del Rio. Listen, there's no one better. Honestly, she blows me away with her commitment, her makeup, the hair, the dresses, and she does it all herself.
Yeah.
I could not do that. She is, we just lost Dawn Rickles. She really is the Dawn Rickles of drag. I've been called that in the past, but she really is, because she doesn't sing.
Yeah.
She doesn't even lip sync. It's all she does is just read people to filth, and they fucking love it.
Yes, they love it.
And it just makes me proud. It really does. It makes me proud. That is a show pony. That is a trooper. That is a person who does it right and got into it for the right reasons. That's somebody who took theater. It's everything that's good about drag.
Mm-hmm. Another like overnight success that took 20 years. Like, she had all the years to hone it, get it together, get her whole shit together of her outfits, her look, and when it was her time, it was her time.
And I'm not gonna say what I've said about everybody else and say she's the sweetest person, because she's not. But she is the most generous. She has fixed wigs for wherever we are together. Let me fix that wig, girl. And then she's like, "What?" I'm like, "What is that makeup?" And she's like, "Oh, it's blah blah blah." And then the next day, she's got a whole thing of it for me.
Wow.
I mean, seriously, just a very generous person, a monster, but generous.
Look at him.
Oh, Sam Pancake.
Sam, that's a handsome picture.
Yes, it is. Every Austin Young picture is handsome.
You're right
because
about
you're
that.
airbrushed into submission. Sam is so supremely talented, and I don't know if it's nice to see someone at a certain age get their shit together. And I think that he would appreciate me saying that.
Sure. I mean, he talks about on our show his soul sobriety
journey. He's such a fun-loving, passionate, wonderful person. And unfortunately, sometimes that goes with overindulging in certain things. Is my pizza ready? Anyway, so it's nice to see, somebody... Like I said, make the most of their talent and their gift. And he is so gifted, and he's so funny. And I've known him for, oh my God.
Oh God, you guys started doing things together.
Over 30 years.
Yeah. I mean, you guys did so many shows together in the early days with a lot of people went on to be on SNL.
We were
big actors.
We were in a comedy troupe called For Entertainment Purposes Only with Melanie Hutzel and Jane Lynch.
Right.
Jane Lynch and I did this amazing comedy sketch. It was like this really artsy-fartsy 80s play at the Pink Triangle Theater. And I played a gay guy, and she played a Russian Jew. And we were at a laundromat, and it was called Fairfax in Santa Monica, Where Worlds Collide. It was so fucking funny because we start out hating each other and reading each other to filth, and then we come together, and I'm like, "Mommy," and she's like, "My baby." It was really artsy-fartsy and stupid. But I mean, that was the joke. And we've also done a lot of shows with, Molly Shannon and Anna Gasteyer and just, God, people like, who, well, they don't return our calls anymore. Let's just put it that way.
And Sam got sober without turning into an asshole. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
sometimes people really they turn into a little more of a judgy type situation. And he really has kept his sense of humor.
A lot of people, when they are a mess or using or whatever you want to call it, a using mess, they get taken advantage of. So sometimes when they get clean and sober, they go to such an extreme of, I'm taking care of myself now. And you're like, hey, do you mind handing me that? You can't. They go overboard. But yeah, Sam never did, because I think he always took care of himself and always had self-respect. He just liked to party.
Yeah. And he's the best. Love you,
really
Sam.
Is. Love you, Sam.
Look at her.
Oh, God.
Oh, yes.
Sasha Soprano.
The lady behind Drag Queens of Comedy.
You know what? When I first met Sasha...
Because she was 19 producing that show at the Castro.
Honey, I had an attitude.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm like, how wonderful for you that you're in this comedy show.
Right.
amidst all these legendary funny
Right.
queens. And you're borderline funny, and I don't like your look. Like I was, it's like bad, it's like Real Housewives of something. But again, just the sweetest person, and in light of some recent events, I gotta say I really appreciate a producer who knows where I'm coming from as a fucking drag queen. Because there are a lot of people, some aren't even gay, some are gay guys who have never done drag in their life. Like it's a different, she's a performer and she actually is really funny.
Yeah, I
and
thought
she
her
does
set
her
last
job
year was excellent.
very fucking well. And she takes care of the queens. There's a level of respect that has slipped through the cracks recently for me personally and some other people. I'm just saying.
Do you want to spill about what happened for that?
Oh.
Who's been fucking with you?
Oh, well, people may have seen it online. I'm not going to get into specifics. But
you went somewhere.
There was
and
a
then,
Friday night where I got a text at 11:30 from a booking agent.
Right.
These are all going to be a booking agent and a producer. And it said, "Are you awake?" And I said, "Yes, what's up? Can you get on a plane tomorrow at 6 a.m.?
Wow.
Ginger Minge is in the hospital and they need you to host a show. It's an emergency. They need to know right now."
Wow.
I said, "Give me 3 minutes." I text my friend who house sits and dog sits. Got to make sure somebody can watch the dogs. And he's like, "Fine." So I said, "Yes." Pack a bag, got 2 hours sleep, go to LAX at 4 a.m., get on a 6 a.m. flight, fly to DC through Minneapolis. And when I landed in Minneapolis, there's a text message. "Ginger's out of the hospital. Now they want you to do 10 minutes of roast jokes and stand-up material."
Wow.
Now listen, I've written for Joan Rivers, I've written for Roseanne, I can write a roast joke. It's in my blood, trust me. The problem is I've had 2 hours sleep, no time to prepare.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sleep on the plane because I'm going to get there and I have to get in makeup and literally walk out on stage to host this show. And I've written jokes for 2 of the queens who are in the show.
Right.
I don't even know these girls well enough to wing it.
Right.
I don't know, what makes Fifi O'Hara tick. I mean, I can come up with some jokes. I can do a lot of fat jokes, ugly jokes, Sasquatch jokes. But I just didn't feel like I could do 10 minutes of what is so specific after I'd already given my gems, all my insults to 2 other girls in the show. So I was like, absolutely not. I said, a couple hours ago, this was an emergency. Well, the whole thing was just like, I literally got a text saying, then we're passing. You can the moment you land in DC, get back on a plane.
No.
And that's what I'm talking about. Just like, not, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I said, why don't I do something like, let's take a break from the hate and I'll sing a couple of songs about something I love, cock. And they were like, that's not the show.
Wow.
I'm like, well, I know, but also like...
You called me last night at 11:30 p.m.
It was just so take it or leave it, which is the world we fucking live in now.
Fuck.
And there's hundreds of girls now who have been on Drag Race.
Right.
So it really is like, if you don't do it, somebody else will do it. So didn't get paid.
No.
Didn't even get reimbursed for the travel.
Unbelievable.
So
You know
that's
what
I'm
that
talking
is.
about.
Bullshit. Well, that's not Sasha Soprano. Make sure you check out Drag Queens of Comedy with Jackie B, Lady Red Couture, and so many of your other favorite legendary queens.
And listen, we all have our moments, and I am kind of infamous for being a bitch, but I think people who have worked with me, I'm professional. You have to choose your battles. Every once in a while, something is like, hey, I spent 2 hours getting ready and there's not even a light on my face. And sometimes people will be like, oh my God, you're being such a diva. And I'm like, it's not being a diva to want a light on your face.
Agreed.
But anyway, my point is, it's just the most basic level of respect and courtesy. It's like you as a producer would not exist without these performers. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah. Honey, tell it. Look at all.
Drew Droege.
Drugs. What kind of soft lighting this is?
Well, I mean, you know, obviously that was the year Jaws came out. He was a child. He got that T-shirt for his birthday.
His first headshot.
Drew is, again, like what I was saying about Alaska, just a magical creature. And I love that he can literally step into any role. I mean, he's so fearless that way. He's not a drag queen, per se.
Right.
But he will be in Die Mommy Die and play Rose and like play all these female characters, and it just comes from a different place because it's more theatrical and more improv, fueled than if you're just used to being a drag queen.
Right.
And then you see him in a funny male role. He can do anything.
And like you were saying earlier, that his translation or channeling of Rose, that's not the easiest character to translate. And I've seen so many productions of Golden Girls. He's really come into his own with that portrayal.
Well, the problem is, and I always say this, you have to give people what they think they remember.
Right.
So when I do,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's I do get the inflections, but she didn't really talk like, a longshoreman, B. Arthur. And I've seen a lot of queens do Rose, and it's very low energy and just like, I'm stupid. I don't know, there's a manic, like, she could, like, stab you at any moment.
Yeah. He's found a lot of colors in that portrayal, and it's gotten so good.
And it has to be funny whether you know the show or not.
Totally.
Because if you're not a bit, I've had friends say, I know every episode, I know every line, and my friend has never seen it. Katy Perry came and saw it.
Right, and she had never watched Golden Girls before.
She had never watched the Golden Girls. She loved it. She was such a sweetheart. I mean, I make fun of her a lot, but she was a total sweetheart. And then, I swear, 3 days later on Instagram, there was a photo of her laptop with a glass of wine and a fire in the background, and she's like settling down to binge on the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
So we turned her on to it.
Well done, Jackie.
Yeah.
Look at her.
Oh.
Joey Arias.
Joey Arias. I don't even know what to say. Joey studied at the Groundlings with Cassandra, who ended up being Elvira, Pee Wee Herman, Edie McClurg. Just amazing. I mean, he was on Saturday Night Live singing backup for Klaus Nomi.
Right.
Or wait a minute, Klaus Nomi and him were doing backup for David Bowie.
Right.
And then, he's in Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, the movie. Just all these, what? And then he's over here, and then he did this too. Remember that? And just amazing. And again, okay, there are certain people that are like, Joey Arias is from another planet.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, Tammy Brown is from another planet.
Yeah.
Joey Arias is from another planet. These are just and I'm just so glad that they have found the most, a way to make it in this world.
Yeah.
And make a living and cash in on their magic. So, yeah, an amazing person.
And a dick pig.
Oh my God. Don't ever let her get you in a men's room. Unless you're into that.
I remember being 24 at the Cock for one of the first times, and there was Joey Arias who's like, let me see your dick, kid.
Hey, it pays to ask.
Right? Why not?
Just sheer numbers. There's going to be one guy that's drunk enough.
You're right.
Just got out of prison.
A lesson learned from Joey Arias.
Yes.
Look at him. Oh, yes.
That was supposed to be the cover of HX magazine, which I don't think exists anymore. Well, maybe if they had gone with that cover, they'd still be here.
This is the Dirty Sanchez years for your pop supergroup.
Yes, Dirty Sanchez. They both get mad when I say this. We sort of started it as a joke.
Right.
And we ended up getting a record deal and recording a record, and it did really well. And then we toured with My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, and it was just the funnest thing in the world. Because I'm a performer and I love performing, but everyone's dream as a kid or a teenager is to be a fucking rock star.
Totally.
And when we did that, And next thing you know, we're at the Key Club, and it's packed with 600 people, and they're all singing. They knew the words better than I did. Anyway, singing Really Rich Italian Satanists, thinking that we're really into Satan.
Yeah, I mean, that was some good shit. Those videos you guys made were so great.
Yeah. But that song is a love letter to Dario Argento.
Oh, really?
Suspiria, and
like,
we're so bored that now the only thing left that's fun to get off on is just killing people.
Right.
Yeah,
and you guys broke up because
we never really broke up. We just all got so busy.
Right.
And another thing is, listen, I'm spoiled rotten. I can go do a show with a USB, I almost said a CD, and make all the money.
Right.
And this is, if you're in a band.
Yeah, 3 ways.
First of all, you're in Los Angeles. Yes, it's 3 ways plus unless you're really successful, especially in LA, it's usually pay to play.
Right.
But because there was a drag queen in the group, I fucking shot that down immediately. I'm like, no, we need at least this much. But God love Mario. Because Mario would always say, we need new costumes, and let's do new choreography, and let's do this, and let's get backup dancers. And I would always be like, can't we just do what we did last time? Seriously, and I meant it. And he's like, no. And he would literally lay down the law and make it all happen. And then when you're on stage and people are gagging and living for it, you're like, thank God we did all this energy.
Right. Well, Mario, a producer of at heart, a great one.
Honey, the ultimate control freak.
Yes, honey.
And I say that with love and respect.
Well, in club promoter land, you can't kind of be in charge of Boulet Brothers, Mario. I used to throw parties. If you're in charge of all those people who are getting drunk and doing things, and you want your vision to be through, honey, you gotta push it through and keep it together.
Yep.
God bless Mario.
Look at that.